couple of minutes for people to get on. I apologize for being a little bit late. I've had meetings today, so it is what it is. Sometimes that happens. Make sure you guys can hear me, so if you're watching, just put in the comments. Just let me know if you can hear me or can't hear me. Alright guys, so we're going to make an arrangement today. I'm just going to give people a couple minutes to get on here. Hope everybody's doing well today. Got a big snowstorm here in Hinsdale. It was, got it, let's see, it's Wednesday, so Monday into Tuesday. Yeah, kind of crazy. I literally had 18 inches of snow in my yard, so fun stuff. So a little behind this week because all the things I was going to do yesterday I had to do today, so kind of crazy, but it's not a bad thing. There are worse things. So we got 3 people. See if some more pop on here. So the arrangement we're going to do today is more Valentine's Day oriented. We have Valentine's Day coming up here. I keep feeling like it's sooner than it really is. It is coming up soon though. So the arrangement we're going to do today is a little bit more Valentine's Day oriented. So whites, pinks, reds. Got some red roses in here. So we're going to put something together for you. It's going to be really cute. Kind of simple. Well, I guess not simple-ish, but not boring. Simple doesn't mean boring. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. So as always, if you have any questions, anything you want to know about the shop or about the flowers, go ahead and put your questions in the comments, and what I will do is I will try to answer you guys while I'm doing the arrangement. If for some reason I don't see it, then I will go back and look at the comments later, and I will try to answer your questions afterward. So I'm just going to start off with my greens on the bottom here. So we have a ton of flowers in right now. So if anybody wants an arrangement, please get a hold of us, as we've got flowers that need homes. So please let us know if you are looking for an arrangement, you need an arrangement, start thinking about Valentine's Day, let us know. We have lots of flowers available. We are really excited to get some arrangements, some new arrangements put together. We've got a lot of spring flowers coming in, so please, please, please let us know what you need. If you like tonight's arrangement, please let me know. I will have this one up for sale in the shop, but if it sells before you have a chance to scoop it up yourself, let me know. I will try to recreate it. So long as I have the supplies or the flowers to do it, I will try to recreate it for you. So just let us know if it's something that you love. So next I'm going to start working on, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my Gladys's in. So I have these really beautiful pink Gladys's that I want to go ahead and set in first. So they're really long, so I need to make them a little shorter. And they're sort of going to be my center piece of my arrangement, and I'm going to build off of these. I have 2 of them. immediately gonna just start putting some roses in here. This happens where I'm looking at my flowers. I know I want them to be not exactly symmetrical and the same, but sometimes I have to pull things out and reset them, make them shorter, make them, well, I can't really make them longer, but you can. There's tricks to doing that, but that's a lot of work. I'd rather just grab another flower if I need to make something longer, which has happened. Sometimes I decide I cut it too short and I have to go back and grab something else. So if you're just tuning in, it's the first time you've ever watched our videos. This is Birch & Cork Furniture Company. Yes, we are a furniture store primarily, but I have a real love and passion for flowers, so I decided when I opened the store that I was going to incorporate flowers into that. I feel strongly that with us being in a really difficult time right now with COVID and we're kind of all trapped in our houses, that I wanted to give you guys an outlet, something local, a local person that's kind of reaching out to you guys at home, showing you what I do, how I create my floral arrangements, give you an opportunity to see what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and it's somebody that you know or can connect with, and when COVID is over, you can come to the shop. You can come to the shop before COVID's over, by all means, but if you're feeling like you can't leave the house, or maybe you've been COVID exposed and so you're on quarantine, or you have COVID so you just cannot leave the house, we understand, and so we want to give you an outlet to be able to check out what we have, feel like you're in the shop watching me actually make the flowers as if you were shopping. And it's a good outlet for us too. It lets us kind of connect with our customers and let you guys see everything. So that's why we're here. That's what we're doing. We are taking phone orders, or if you email us or send us a message on Facebook or Instagram, we will certainly take your order that way. I have a ton of people that order that way, and we will fill orders. We do delivery, so if you want to deliver some flowers to a loved one, we will deliver to all of Berkshire County. Yes, that includes Great Barrington and North Adams. We are happy to make the drive. It is a $5 delivery charge. So we are happy to do that for you. The other thing is we've also just hooked up with Teleflora. So what that means is if you wanted to send some flowers to loved ones not here, you can call me up. You can look at the Teleflora's website, tell me what it is that you're looking for, what you want to send, and we can put the order in for you on your behalf. So keep us in mind for that. If you've got arrangements that for Valentine's Day you'd like to send out to somebody that's not right here in the Berkshires, let us know and we'll set that up for you. So what I'm doing right now is normally I would have a knife and I would just scale these pricklers off, and as you can see them, I'm just cutting them back so that I don't get a prickler in the finger, although I've gotten a lot of those since I've been doing this. And there's nothing worse than getting a rose thorn in your finger. It is the worst ever. It hurts so bad and it hurts for a long time. So I just try to scale those off. Normally I do it with a knife, but I left my knife over on the other counter, so this is what we're working with. So when I'm doing these arrangements, a lot of times things don't sit super well until the vase itself is a little more full. So I will not get too upset if things aren't sitting exactly the way I want them immediately, because really what it means is I just need more items in my vase to kind of hold things up together. A little cheat that you can do is you can take Floral, that waterproof floral tape, and you can put it over the top if you have like a really wide base. Then you can do that, and that sort of helps a little bit. But with this vase, it's actually kind of a smaller vase, so it really doesn't need any tape. It just needs more things in the vase. But believe it or not, you fit a lot in a kind of a small vase area. It will start to come together a little bit here. So let's see what I think. Next thing I'm actually going to put in are my carnations. Some beautiful pink carnations. Carnations are a great flower. They last a really long time. They're really just a very hardy flower. The problem with carnations is that they tend to break very easily. So I want to put them in my vase sooner so that I'm not breaking my stems as I'm putting in other flowers. So I'll put them in now. I might actually take some of these roses out and put my carnations in instead. That happens sometimes. Alright, I'm going to actually reset all my roses. Try again. So again, I opted to do this because I just don't want my carnations to break as I'm setting them in. And I just have a funny feeling that if I don't put these in first, they're probably going to break on me, and I don't want that to happen. So I am going through and setting my carnations first, and then I'm going to go back through and put my roses back in. And the roses will probably end up sitting a lot better and cleaner if there's more in here. So that's why I pulled all the roses out. Back in. As you can see, they're starting to sit just a little bit cleaner. Woo! See? Like that. Ouch! I missed one and it got me. That happens. hazards of being a florist. Get a rose thorn right in your finger. Ouch. Now my roses are sitting a little bit nicer. My carnations haven't broken, so now I have really the perfect setup to keep going. That's what we're gonna do. I actually have some other kind of long stem greens I want to throw in here. I'm gonna clean them up a little bit. Everything I do, I want to make sure I'm doing fresh cuts, which I do anyways, because I usually want to change the height of my flowers. Like a mum type of flower. So what do we got on here? Wow, all sorts of people I don't know. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in and watching us. It's cold and it's just now February and it's just dreary and nasty out, but it's gonna get better. We're starting to talk about all the new and exciting things that we want to do here at Bertrand Court this coming year. Different things that we want to display and have available for you guys. Just talked to a really amazing person that I think is going to come in and sign with us, so stay tuned. Their work is really amazing, so I cannot wait for them to bring their stuff in and have their stuff be available. So I'm not going to tell you anything about it yet because I want you to be surprised, and I think it's going to be really, really nice stuff. I'm very, very excited. So. We've got a bunch of people that have signed on recently. I hope you can see it in the camera. If you look right here, we actually have soaps are now available and a facial scrub line and just some really cool stuff. So if you haven't been in recently, you got to come in. You got to check out what's in the store. So we've got some really cool, new and exciting stuff that I think you're going to love. Hoping that we're going to be getting in some candles pretty soon as well. More to come on that. I will keep you posted. But very, very excited. I love it when new consigners come in and they want to showcase their stuff in our store. Spin it around. We'll take a look. So now I think the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put, you guys know I'm famous for my sticks. This is a really long stick. I'm not going to use the whole stick because if I did, it is literally, it's huge. So I'm just going to use this top portion, I think. Cut it, start here. It's still really long, and I don't see myself using this whole stick like this. That's really too long. So we got to cut it some more. Love my sticks. I think they're absolutely stunning and beautiful, and they really bring some definition to these floral arrangements. But I don't want them to be gaudy either. I don't want them to be too big or really obnoxious. I want a little bit of definition in the arrangement, and I want to set my arrangements apart from somebody else's. This is sort of my signature piece. There we go. That's really pretty. But I've learned I can't put the sticks in too late. If I put them in too late, then I end up breaking the flowers and it just doesn't work out super well. And I always have to reset things whenever I stick things. Usually the sticks have a really large bottom to them, and so it definitely changes how the flowers sit in the vase. Sarah. Hi, Sally. How are you? You guys are awesome. Please feel free to ask questions because I will check these. And I love it when you guys reach out and ask me questions. Don't ask me the name of flowers though, because it feels like a quiz. And I probably don't know. No, it's fine. Ask whatever you want. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know the answer. But by all means, I love it when you guys interact with me and give me something to talk about. Because sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to sit here and find things to talk about. Because I don't want to talk about negative stuff. I don't want to talk about usually what's going on in the world right now because, frankly, most of it's not very good. So what I want to do is give you guys an escape from some of that stuff and add to it. So we try to talk about flowers or positive things or the store or anything that you guys want to talk about. So what I'm doing right now is I'm adding some flowers at the top to kind of give this some definition. I don't want to have a big hole in the top. And what I'm doing is I'm keeping these flowers kind of long and tall so that they will reach the very top of my arrangement. It's actually too long, so just pop that right back out. We're going to shorten it. Go. So I don't want to hide my roses either. There we go. That's better. So I've filled my hole a little bit and I have kept my roses in view. You can always pop things out a little bit now that my vase is a little fuller. When I put flowers in, they'll stay where I put them. So I can pull them out a little more, push them in a little more, and I get some really nice definition. So there's that. I think the next thing I want to do is go ahead and pop in some smaller spray roses. Thank you, Janet. I hope your flowers lasted a long time. I always like to know how long your flowers lasted because it gives me a good gauge on how well the flowers are holding up when they leave the shop. So it's always good to know. I love the feedback. Let me know. And certainly, don't ever be afraid to tell me if your flowers die too soon. I want to know that information. Go. So I'm just popping in some of these spray roses in the bottom. Sitting, so we'll move it around. If you don't like it, we move it. That's how this works. There we go. That's good. All right. And then I'm gonna pop in some of these smaller flowers. Again, I just want to give my arrangement some definition, some depth. So I don't know about anyone else, but I'm like super excited to see what the spring is going to bring us. I think things are going to get a lot better in general. I think COVID's going to calm down and we're just gonna be so happy to get out of our houses. I am super excited for what this next year is gonna bring us. I don't know how anyone else feels, but I'm just like super hopeful. Can't wait. I think we're gonna do really well. I don't know if I love how that's sitting. It needs to be. So these flowers are interesting. They almost have a lemon smell to them. They're really, really nice. They're a great spring flower. I'm really loving how they're smelling, how they feel. They're just a really nice addition to this arrangement. So, and then I'm just gonna go around in some of my pieces that don't actually have flowers on them. I'm just gonna poke them into the bottom here as part of my greens. Yeah. And ones that do have flowers, but they're shorter, we'll tuck them in different places here. And again, that's just going to give us some depth, definition to our arrangement. So when I'm doing these, I usually don't have a plan. I really don't. I don't have a plan. I am usually just kind of figuring it out as I go. And I think that's what all artists do. Like they start out with a plan, maybe a loose plan, and then it kind of develops as they go along, which is definitely what I do, I think. So, Janet, a week and a half, that's fairly what I would expect. You should get at least 7 days out of your flowers. They should look pretty darn good, but it really does depend on how warm your house is, if you trimmed the bottoms of the flowers, how long they've been in the cooler. I will hold on to flowers for as long as they look good. But I usually will tell you guys, hey, these have been sitting in the cooler for 2 weeks, so just be aware of that. And I usually won't charge you full price if that's the case. But it really depends. But I do like to know that information, so thank you, Janet, for letting me know. It's good to know. Thank you, Sammy. For this arrangement, Janet, I don't know. I'll let you know when I'm done. Depends how big it gets. It's got 6 red roses in it, and it's got 2 pink spray roses in it, and then it's got another, I think, 6 pink and white carnations, some Gladys, some white Muns, and then whatever heck these things are called. I can't remember the name of these. So roses will always make an arrangement a little bit more expensive. Actually, I'll trim this down maybe a little. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll just move it. So roses will always make an arrangement more expensive because that's pretty much the most expensive flower that I purchase is roses. Roses and actually the hydrangeas. So those hydrangeas are the big bulb looking flowers that I usually tuck in the bottoms here. Those are actually kind of pricey. So those are usually the ones that are the most expensive, and of course they're the ones that usually die the first. You know, roses, depending on where you get them from and how far they've come, how long it's been since they were cut. They can last in a cool environment up to a month, but in a not very cool environment, a week and a half is pretty standard. Every once in a while where you think you set a flower and it actually came out the other side of the vase. That happens. Alright, we'll try that one again. That usually happens to me in baskets. I will set a flower into the foam and then I turn around and I look and it's hanging out of the other side. It didn't set right. I'm like, what? What is this? That's okay, we'll just reset it, no big deal. Flowers are very forgiving. As long as you don't break the stems, you can just pull it out and reset it. There we go, that's better. 3 days, my goodness. Yeah, Janet, 3 days and I would be asking for my money back. If that ever happens to one of you guys, please come in here and I will fill your vases for free because flowers should last longer than 3 days. Depending on what they are. There's some flowers that are not going to last very long. Lilies, I find lilies don't last very long, even in my coolers. I don't know why. They just don't seem to last a super long time for whatever reason. Lilies definitely aren't my personal favorite. I don't know why they're not, but they're not. Let's see. I know that, Sammy, these little pink flowers are gorgeous. They smell like lemons too. It literally smells like lemons. I mean, it's not a strong lemony flavor, but you wouldn't expect this flower to smell like that. So when I'm done, I will look up what these are and I will put it in the comments. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, but they're really cute. They're really gonna make this arrangement pop. So, and I just keep going around and backfilling this arrangement. So somebody gave me a good idea today, and I would love to know what you guys think of this. Somebody suggested to me that once COVID's over and we can have people in, more than 2 people at a time in the store, if a paint and sip, not a paint and sip, but on the premise of a paint and sip, but a floral arrangement and sip would be something that people would be interested in. So if that is something that you would have any interest in doing, please let me know. I would love to get your feedback on that idea. I think that that's an interesting idea. It's something where I would provide the flowers, you would come in, we would have tables set up and vases, and you could come in and actually put your own arrangement together. You'd have all the pieces for it, all the parts for it, and you could actually have that satisfaction of knowing that you created this. So hit me up in the comments, go on our Facebook page, let us know, or our Instagram page, and let us know if that's something that interests you, if that's something you'd be up for doing once COVID's over. Obviously we can't do it right now, but if that's something that would interest anybody, we'd love to know that, and we can plan for that. Another really cool thing that I've thought about doing, and I did mention this to one frequent Floral customer, is possibly setting up a subscription, local flower subscription. So if you're somebody that's been buying faithfully every week since we've been open, it would maybe be cost effective and you guys would get some additional perks if we set up kind of like a subscription service. So you would pay a monthly fee, you're only running your credit card once a month, and you're getting flowers on whatever time schedule you want. So maybe it's once a month, maybe it's once a week, whatever it is, or how many arrangements do you want? Do you want to make sure, you have an arrangement for yourself and your mom always has an arrangement, something like that. So if that's interesting to anybody, leave that in the comments. Let us know what you think about that, because some of you guys have been ordering on a weekly basis, and it might be easier if you already know you're going to get certain flowers. So probably what I would end up doing is I would just do this. I would make the flowers live so you know what you're going to get for that week, and then everybody that signed up with the subscription service would I would just remake a similar arrangement or as close to it as I can possibly do, and you would get that arrangement if you wanted to do it every week. So just some ideas we've been playing with. We want to make it easy for you guys if you're interested in getting a floral subscription. It would be probably a little bit cheaper for you to run your card once a month, or whatever schedule you want to do it on. Some people don't want the subscriptions, and I understand why. I know sometimes I don't like subscriptions because I forget about it or I don't actually use it, and I end up spending more money than I would otherwise. So we don't want to see that happen either. We don't want people to waste their money. But if it's something that you're interested in, hit us up in the comments, let us know. We'll get some feedback and try to set some stuff up if there's a lot of interest in it. Alright. I just got a couple more of these I'm going to throw in here, and then I think we'll be done with that part. Is my good friend Gus watching me? Hi, Gus. I haven't seen you in forever. Hi, Janet. I see you. Janet, the other Janet. Hi, Ellen. Yeah, I think, I thought it was a good idea when I thought of it. I was like, you know what? I feel like some of the people in here, I'm sure you guys love the flowers, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that also want to be supportive of a small business, and we so appreciate it. And honestly, we need flowers right now. We need some positivity. And so I just thought, well, if these people are going to be buying every week, I'm all for it. I want to make it easier for you guys and get you guys on a regular schedule, so you don't have to worry about thinking about calling in and ordering unless there's something really specific that you want. but we could set it up so that here's the arrangement. This is what you're going to get this week. This is the arrangement of the week. I build it. You can watch. You can see. And then that's the arrangement that if you're in their subscription, it will go out to you guys. So I think it's a good idea. I think it makes things simpler. You certainly don't have to be a part of this to get flowers from us. You know, you can call and order any flowers that you want whenever you want. Not a problem. But we thought we'd offer it to you. So there would be some perks to it. We'd offer a little discount so it's a little cheaper for you. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to give this a little bit more definition here. So these are some filler flowers that I've actually sprayed in gold. And I absolutely love these. I think they're just so beautiful as an accent flower. Pop one into the top. And there, our vase is pretty full at this point, so it gets a little hard to get the flowers into the vase. There we go. Alright, and then I'll take my gold pieces and I'll go around different spots and pop them in. You know, right now, I'm sure there's not a lot of people that have, if you have a small business, I'm sure most businesses are doing as much as they can online, but it's not going to be like this forever. We're still going to have things where you have to walk into places, and it's always nice to be able to have some pretty flowers sitting on a desk. So a subscription service locally might be a really good thing to do for a business as well. That way you're getting a little bit of a discount because you're buying regularly, and you're offering some really pretty flowers for your business. So I think it's a smart move if you're somebody that really enjoys the flowers and is going to be buying all the time. I think it's a smart move. It's definitely less complicated. Julie. A couple more we'll throw in, and then we'll be just about done with this arrangement. Best place to put this one. We're gonna go here. Oof, is it getting tight in this vase? And this is why I put the carnations in first, because once it starts getting really tight like this, it's almost impossible to get these flowers in here. But it's a good thing. So, whoever buys this arrangement, what I would recommend is as you are going through later on and you're cutting stems, pull out the stuff that is maybe not doing super well, so you have a little bit more space in your vase. So if there's, you know, carnation that broke, or, you know, one flower is kind of wilting a little bit, pull it right out. You won't need it. Your vase will be plenty full without it. Throw it away, toss it, recut your ends, change the water, and it should continue to look good. Try to keep your flowers in a cool environment. Sometimes it's hard because we put them next to our heaters, and that isn't good for the flowers. They definitely are going to die a lot quicker that way. This is just not going in. Wow. Huh. We are full. All right. Well, that one's not going in. That's okay. We'll be okay without it. So what we'll do is we'll just pull this other flower out a little bit. It's not going either. There we go. All right, everybody. So that is the finished product. I think the only other thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put a ribbon on this. I'm actually going to move my cuttings to one side here so I've got some space to put my ribbon on. Thank you, Julie. So I usually try to figure out what side I would call the front. So I think I'm going to call this side the front. The reality is this looks good from either side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of my tulle. Tulle ribbon on it, and I'm actually going to add some regular ribbon as well. So everybody, for Valentine's Day, we would appreciate it if you got your orders in early for us so that we can guarantee people that they're going to get their Valentine's Day orders in. It is going to be, I think, a busy weekend. So please think about that ahead of time. If you really want to get your flowers in, please make sure that you let us know beforehand. I'm taking orders now, so you really can't be too early on Valentine's Day orders. So let us know if you're going to be looking for an order. Also let us know if you're not from the area and you want to send some, or you're from the area and you want to send some flowers to somebody that's not in the area. We will send them via Teleflora. We just got hooked up with them a couple weeks ago, so we are part of their network now, so we can do orders through them. So please, please, please let us know what you need and do it nice and early so that we don't miss out. I can send flowers at any point, but there's no guarantee that florist on the other end is not going to be overrun and busy as well. So get those orders in nice and early. Don't procrastinate, don't wait. Tell the men in your life, because they're usually the ones that are procrastinating, to get on the ball, get their flower orders in nice and early. We will have some grab and go flowers available and ready to go for people that don't think about it, aka the men. Not to be sexist, but there's a lot of men out there that wait till the last minute. They don't think about it. They think they can just walk in and get their flowers, and they can, so long as the flowers are available, because we do sell out. It's just the reality of the business. You end up selling out. So nice and early. Tell them to be nice and early. So I'm just getting my bow situated here. I made it a little bit complicated for myself because I took multiple bow pieces or multiple strings. So nothing wrong with it, it just takes a little bit to get things set. So Janet, you asked earlier what the price of this arrangement would be. I would probably price this as a larger medium arrangement, and I say that because of, you know, it is a much bigger arrangement. So I would say between 45 and 50. So that's right in your medium range, a large medium, but it's in that medium range. So that's what I would call it. So 45 to 50. I can make this bigger, I can make them smaller. So if you really love the color scheme but need a smaller arrangement, that's okay. I can make it smaller, in a smaller vase with less materials, maybe less roses, so I might do 3 roses instead of 6. Or, you know, you can also change it up so there's more roses and less of other things. So you can pretty much do anything that you want. Just curling my ribbons, and sometimes when I do that, I pull them through. There we go. Oh, thank you guys. I want it to be calming for you guys, you know, it's been so stressful lately. And we need a little peace in our lives. We need a little calm and a little soothing, and we need some happy. So I'm glad you're finding the music to be relaxing. I hope you're finding the arranging to be relaxing. So I'm just cutting the ends of the tule so they're not as rough. So there's the finished product for you to see. So in this arrangement, we've got, like I said, we've got 6 long stem red roses. They're long stem, but we've trimmed them down to fit in here, so I wouldn't necessarily call them long stem now, even though that's what they really were when we started. We've got a couple of pink spray roses. We've got some pink Gladys in here. We've got some white mums. And then we've got our greens and our pink filler flowers and our signature sticks. So this arrangement, I would call this, probably at any other florist, it would be a large arrangement. I'm calling this a large medium arrangement. So for my pricing, I would say this is between a $45 and a $50 arrangement, so that's the higher end of a medium. For me, I can, like I said, I can scale this up or down. This can be a larger, you know, $55 arrangement. I would probably, the biggest change I would make if I was going to go larger is I would get a bigger vase and I would add more roses to it. So you get more flowers, but it's really the roses. I would add more roses to it. So I think this is a really fantastic Valentine's Day arrangement. It's a little different than your traditional dozen roses, but we can certainly do a dozen roses. That's not a problem. But this has got your pinks, your whites, and your reds. So it's a really nice Valentine's Day arrangement, but it doesn't have to be just for Valentine's Day. It can be for really anytime. I think it's a good springtime arrangement too. So, let's see. I think the only other thing I have for you, so just keep in mind what I sort of pitched out to you guys about the flower memberships, doing kind of a subscription program, and then thinking about, you know, once COVID opens up, kind of going on that premise of a paint and sip, but a full arrangement and sip. I say the sip part because we are working on getting ourselves established to offer high-end beers and wines. So we'll get there. We're not there yet, but that's kind of the goal for spring and into summer. So let us know if that's something that interests you. You certainly don't have to drink to come to one of these events. You can sip on whatever you'd like. We do offer coffee, currency coffee, so that's certainly something that you could sip on if you wanted to do something like that. So just kind of a neat little idea to kind of get people engaged, get you out of the house. Once COVID's calmed down a little bit, we want to get ready for, you know, life to go back to normal, because I think it's going to. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it's going to go back to normal. So don't give up. It's going to be okay. If you love this arrangement, let me know. Email us, text us, call us, leave a message, whatever you got to do, we'll get some flowers to you. Other than that, if you're interested, we do have some fantastic metal roses for Valentine's Day. This is actually something one of our consigners created. These gorgeous stainless steel roses. I wanted to kind of highlight them because this is my live floral video that I do every Wednesday, and this is a flower. But also, if you've got somebody in your life that really loves roses, would love metal work, we do have these available in the store. Normally they run $150, but the consignor and I have decided to drop the price. I gotta think about exactly what it's gonna go for. I wanna say it's gonna be about $130, maybe even down to $120. So let me know if the stainless steel roses are something that you are interested in. If you're not interested in the regular flowers for Valentine's Day, if you've got somebody that really would love these stainless steel roses, let us know. The candles are separate, although I've got plenty of candles, so if you want the candles to put in here, you can do that. But it's really a gorgeous piece. I think it's a very popular piece, and it's something that is locally made right here in the Berkshires. Matt Gendron is the one that makes them. He's a fantastic welder and creator and artist, and we're super excited to have him on board. So if this is something that you're interested in, please let us know. We will put one aside for you. We'll ship it to you. We'll drop it off, whatever you want to do. But these are available, and then of course just our regular flowers. So other than that, I don't have anything else for you for tonight. You can certainly go back and watch this video on our Facebook page. Other than that, let us know if anybody wants this arrangement or something similar to it. Please let us know. We do have a spring arrangement in our cooler right now. We're going to be making some more flowers this week. So if you want to get something sent to somebody locally, let us know. And again, we just got hooked up with Teleflora. So if you want to send something to somebody further away, not in the Berkshires, let us know. We'll put the order in for you. I hope you have a fantastic night, and we'll see you next week.